We are ready. We're in the zone. Let's get our science on.
I'm sorry. Everybody mentioned their book. It's time for me to mention my latest book.
I don't think anyone mentioned their book, actually.
Or is there something fundamental that allows us to feel free, to be free?
I think that that's the question that I want to answer. I know you want to answer it, and I think it's so profound. Let me have a go at it. I would say that I don't take the stance of Sam Harris, because I think Sam Harris, when he said the way he says it, is it's really interesting. I'd love to talk to him about it. Sam Harris almost thinks himself out of existence, right? Because I don't, because do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the first event at the Museum of Natural History I've participated in without wearing any pants.
I mean, in a way, I suppose I should reproach myself in the same ways I reproach Einstein. He used God to personify the laws of physics. If you talk about a selfish gene, then people know that genes are just DNA. And so surely nobody is fool enough to think that genes actually are selfish in the sense of, and I thought, well, nobody could possibly be that idiotic. But I didn't allow for certain philosophers.
Well, let's stay on this topic for a little longer, because I maintain the reason people are interested in humans traveling in space is because they can die. That's what makes it interesting, and you want to see if they're going to die.
That was NASCAR.
What?
I thought that was NASCAR that you're talking about.
But I find.
Can you tell us whether you agree, disagree, and explain why? Maybe we start with Stuart.
Yeah, Heisenberg was stopped by a cop for speeding, and he said, "Do you know how fast you're going?" And Heisenberg said, "No, but I know exactly where I am." I'm not sure, actually. I didn't quite follow the question, but let me just make the point that
you could, scan an alien planet and go, oh, this is what the clouds are made of. This is what's in the surface. These are the molecules that are mixing. Here are probably oceans, because you can see these types of molecules above it. And here are the Hadley cells. Here are how the biosphere works. We could map this whole thing.
Wouldn't it be cool if the aliens are aware of these techniques and would spoof the wrong gases just to pretend that's how they can be? It's like an invisibility cloak. They can generate gases that would throw you off.
But this work of interpreting an alien atmosphere means you're reading the atmosphere as a message. And it's very hard to hide signs of life in an atmosphere, because you can try to prank us, but you're still going to fart.
I've got some lycopodium powder in this tube.
Okay.
I want you to be absolutely, you must promise me.
Yes.
That you'll blow into this tube and not suck it.
Sure, yeah.
So hold it like that.
I've done this at the side of the road before. You've got put your goggles on. Okay.
Also, I felt very bad that at the end, the Wookiee didn't get a medal also. All the people got medals, and the Wookiee who had been in there fighting all the time, he didn't get any medal. And I thought that was an example of anti-Wookiee discrimination.
You're dissecting this scientifically, Carl, taking all the fun out of it for me.
Marcel, 10 years from now.
So, yes, I think that at least in 10 years, we'll have excellent data to possibly either confirm or rule out supersymmetry, and also know if the Higgs particle, which we also did not mention tonight, exists
That's
or
the
not.
famous God particle giving mass to all the other particles, right?
It actually used to be called the goddamn particle, because they kept hiding. So that's what Leon Lederman, who wrote this book, The God Particle, said. His real title was The Goddamn Particle, but the editor didn't like it.
The editor changed it, yeah.
Oliver Sacks. You know who Oliver Sacks is, the neuroscientist? Yes, he's written a lot of interesting books. So we called up his producer, his assistant, and we said, we're very sorry. We would like to interview Oliver for an hour, but we can only do 40 minutes. Well, why not? Well, because we have an opportunity no one has ever had before. Someone is searching for a giant squid in the South Pacific. And we have an opportunity to interview the captain of the boat, the scientist on the boat, live for 20 minutes before the end of the hour. So we can only put Oliver on for 40 minutes and not the last 20. I said, I'm sorry, you know. It was a long silence, and the handler said, are you kidding? I thought we were losing Oliver forever. He said, giant squid, that's Oliver's favorite subject. I kid you not. Would you allow him to sit through that whole interview and let him stay on as you're interviewing the scientist? Let him sit there and listen, maybe? We'd be very happy to have him come on for 40 minutes. I said, wow, I never knew this about Oliver. I knew all this kind of stuff would happen. This is very surprising. So sure enough, Friday came around, and Oliver Sacks comes walking into the studio with a T-shirt with a giant squid on it. And in each hand, he has a rubber squid that he is squeezing in one hand after the other. As like a kid in a candy shop, he's going to talk about the giant squid.
All right. You've done debates all around the world. Have you ever had a clever or interesting argument from the other side?
No.
That's all, folks.
La rivedere.